Hey, it's Catherine with resinobsession.com, and today I'm coming to you from my jewelry studio, and I'm going to show you how I use a flex shaft and a drill press to drill my resin castings. Now this comes in handy if you want to drill straight through the piece, say for a pendant or links on a bracelet. And speaking from experience, I've tried doing this by hand and it literally is just almost impossible to get it straight every time. So the only way I can consistently do it is with a drill press, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. So this is a charm that I've cast, and what I want to do with it today is side drill it across the top so it hangs like that, like a diamond. And so what I do first is, before we get started, a few safety things. You want to wear safety glasses. We will be working with resin dust today, so you want to make sure and wear something in the way of a dust mask to protect yourself from that. And then if you've got long hair, make sure it's tied back so it doesn't get caught up in the machinery. Now for the sake of time, what I've gone ahead and done is set up my system today. This is my flex shaft handpiece. It is held here in the drill press. It's been tightened down. I'm using a size 61 drill bit. This is my vise, and then the whole unit is bolted to my bench. So first thing I like to do is decide where I want to drill, and then I'm actually going to mark it with a Sharpie. Now the vise is handy because it will help hold your resin piece while we're drilling, but the vise is very hard, your resin is not, so if you're not careful, it'll leave marks. So what I like to do, this is the stuff you put on shelves, say like in your dish cabinet, to keep your dishes from sliding and keep them from chipping. I cut a couple pieces of this to hold my piece while it's in the vise. And then remember too, the vise is only going to drill straight down. It's not going to drill on a curve, and so you need to make sure you get your piece in there straight the way you want it before it drills. So for example, if I put it in like that and drill down, even though we're going straight, it's going to come in here and go out there. So I want to make sure that I get it so it comes straight across there. So I kind of mentally look at it, and that way I know how to put it in my vise. Okay, tighten up your vise so that your piece is secure, but don't necessarily crank it down because you don't want to leave any marks on your resin. Make sure everything is straight the way you like it. Now, as you can see, our dot is not lined up with our drill bit, so what I'm going to do is just loosen up my bolts and adjust it. Okay, now last thing before we get started, for any of you who've done any kind of metal smithing, you know that you can't just mark a dot and drill because your drill bit, as soon as you put it on the metal, it's going to move. So we actually need to get a little spot to seat it. And what I like to do is just take a large drill bit and just drill into it a little bit with my hand, just enough to kind of get a pilot hole started. Okay, so we've got a nice little hole started. Now we can go ahead and drill. Now that we've drilled through, take off our crumbs. Let's go ahead and take our piece out and see what it looks like. Now you've probably got some crumbs there in your hole, and the easiest way to get rid of them is to take a drill bit a little smaller than what you're working with. So this, for example, I'm using a 61 here. I just grabbed a 64, and I'm just going to push the crumbs back through, kind of work both ends. Okay, so there you go. Now we've got a nice side drill piece. Go through here at the top. I can now string, say like some Invisalign or something in through here, feed it through, or I could put in a piece of wire or put in like a big jump ring or something. You've got all sorts of really neat options to do with this. So if you have any questions, leave them in the box below. If you get a minute, we have a resinobsession.com blog and jewelry making forum. We're happy to help you with your resin casting questions. Happy casting!